Commander Du stood on the observation deck of the massive Altaran vessel, his slender fingers tapping impatiently against the metallic railing. The blue-green planet filled the view screen before him, its swirling cloud patterns hiding the primitive civilization below. "Another insignificant world," remarked Science Officer Jiwoo, joining him at the viewport. Her silver uniform gleamed under the soft lighting. "But our scans show something unusual about this one." Do turned, his interest piqued. "Unusual how?" Jiwoo activated her datapad, projecting three-dimensional images into the air between them. "The dominant species, these bipeds, they keep other species in their dwellings, not as food sources, or laborers, but as companions. The images showed humans walking with dogs on leashes, cats sleeping on laps, birds in cages, and fish in tanks." Du face twisted into an expression of disgust. "Backward symbiosis," he muttered. "They waste resources on lesser creatures that serve no practical purpose." "It appears to be an emotional bond," Jiwoo explained. "Our psychological team believes this indicates profound weakness in their social structure." Du smiled coldly. "The High Council will be pleased. A species with such flaws will be easy to subjugate. Prepare a full report for transmission." On Earth, Dr. Yuna knelt beside her border collie, adjusting the small device attached to his collar. Buddy sat patiently, his intelligent eyes following her every move. "Just a few more tweaks, boy," she said softly. "This new sensor should help us track those atmospheric anomalies better." The university had laughed at her research grant request. Canine-assisted atmospheric monitoring sounded ridiculous to the committee, but Yuna knew dogs could detect changes in air pressure and composition that even advanced instruments sometimes missed. As the sun set over the research station on the mountain, Yuna and Buddy began their evening walk. The cool air carried the scent of pine and distant rain. Her handheld monitor beeped steadily, collecting data. Suddenly, Buddy stopped. His ears perked forward, head tilted skyward. A low growl rumbled in his throat. "What is it, boy?" Yuna asked, following his gaze to the darkening sky. Her monitor erupted with alerts, readings spiking far beyond normal parameters. The air felt charged, like before a thunderstorm, but the sky remained clear except for a strange shimmer directly overhead. Buddy barked sharply, backing up against her leg. Yuna had never seen him behave this way before. She quickly activated the recording function on all her equipment. "Something's up there, isn't it?" she whispered. In the Altaran High Council chamber, Commander Du presented his findings to the assembled leaders. "Earth represents minimal threat but maximum potential for resource extraction," he concluded. "Their technology is centuries behind ours. Their military forces are fragmented by national boundaries." High Councillor Na leaned forward. "And these companion creatures they keep, could they pose any complication to our plans?" Du played a recording showing humans cleaning up after dogs, carrying them in special bags, and even dressing them in clothing. The council chamber filled with laughter. "They treat lesser species better than they treat each other," one councillor hooted. "They have built an entire economic system around caring for useless animals," another added. High Councillor Na raised her hand for silence. "This behavior confirms their unsuitability for anything but basic labor roles. Commander Du, you are authorized to begin first-phase colonization." Back on Earth, Yuna rushed into General Taewon's office, Buddy trotting at her heels. "Sir, I have evidence of something in our atmosphere that doesn't match any known phenomenon," she said, placing her datapad on his desk. "And it's not just the readings. My dog sensed it before the instruments did." The general looked skeptically at Buddy, who sat alertly beside Yuna's chair. "Dr. Yuna, with all due respect, we receive dozens of unusual atmospheric reports every month." "Not like this," she insisted, playing back the recordings. "The energy signature suggests technology far beyond our current capabilities. And look, at this..." She showed him footage of Buddy's reaction. He was responding to something my human ears couldn't detect. General Taewon studied the data, his expression growing serious. "You're suggesting non-terrestrial origins?" Before Yuna could answer, alarms blared throughout the building. The general's phone rang and his face paled as he listened. Multiple unknown objects entering Earth's atmosphere, he said after hanging up. They're not responding to any communication attempts. Buddy began barking frantically at the window. Outside, a massive shadow darkened the sky as an Alteran scout ship decloaked directly above the military compound. First contact had begun, and humanity was woefully unprepared, except perhaps for one scientist and her very special dog. The sky darkened over major cities worldwide as massive Alteran ships materialized, their sleek forms breaking through cloud cover. Panicked citizens pointed phones skyward, capturing footage that overwhelmed social media within minutes. Emergency broadcasts interrupted regular programming with the same alarming message. Unknown aircraft of enormous size had appeared simultaneously above 12 capital cities. In Seoul, General Tae-won barked orders as military personnel rushed through underground command centers. Screens displayed chaotic scenes from around the globe, traffic jams as people fled urban centers, National Guards mobilizing, and commercial flights grounded. "Get me the president," Tae-won demanded, studying the tactical display. "And find Dr. Yuna immediately." In her laboratory 20 floors below, Dr. Yuna frantically analyzed data while Buddy paced nervously, whining at frequencies only he could hear. The border collie suddenly froze, hackles raised, staring intently at the ceiling. "What's wrong, boy?" Yuna asked, then felt it herself, a vibration running through the building. Her computer screen flickered and went dark. Backup generators kicked in, but communications remained dead. She grabbed her specialized equipment and Buddy's harness. "Come on, we need to reach the command center," she whispered. Outside, the first attack began without warning. No demands, no communication, simply destruction. Beams of intense energy sliced through skyscrapers like butter. Military jets scrambled but were swatted from the sky by invisible forces. In Washington, D.C., London, Beijing, and beyond, the pattern repeated. Earth's most sophisticated weapons proved useless against Alteran technology. The attack seemed calculated, not for maximum casualties, but for maximum psychological impact, destroying symbols of human achievement and disrupting infrastructure. "We're getting reports of some kind of energy field surrounding their ships," reported Colonel Sunho when Yuna finally reached the command center. "Missiles detonate before impact. Bullets melt. It's like they're protected by something that negates our physics." General Tae-won looked up from a crisis meeting with international counterparts on the remaining secure channel. "Dr. Yuna, please tell me you have something useful." Yuna set up her equipment while Buddy sat tensely beside her. "Before communications went down, I received data from colleagues worldwide. The aliens' technology emits frequencies outside human perception range, but within animal perception range." She displayed charts showing signal patterns. "These emissions precede each attack by exactly 43 seconds. Dogs react to them. They can hear something we can't." The general looked skeptical. "You're suggesting we use dogs as early warning systems?" "More than that," Yuna replied, connecting sensors to Buddy's harness. "Watch this." She played back a recording of the alien signal through specialized speakers. Buddy immediately turned toward the source, growling. When she moved the speaker, he tracked it perfectly. He's not just hearing it, he can pinpoint the source with remarkable accuracy. "And there's more." She showed brain scans of dogs exposed to the signals. Their neural patterns change in response. It's like their brains are partially translating the alien communications. An explosion rocked the building. Plaster fell from the ceiling as everyone ducked. "We're out of time," Tae-won said grimly. "What do you need?" "Access to military working dogs, and I need to speak with canine handlers worldwide," Yuna said. Colonel Sunho scoffed. "General, we can't seriously be considering another explosion." Cut him off closer this time. The tactical display showed alien forces breaking through the outer defense perimeter. "We've tried everything else," the general said. "Make it happen." Above ground, Commander Du Young watched the primitive weapons dissolve against Alteran shields. He smiled coldly at Lieutenant Hanul. "Their resistance is pathetic," Du Young said. "Have you located their leadership bunkers?" "Yes, Commander. Scanning shows several underground facilities with biological signatures." "Excellent. Deploy the sonic disruptors. Let's see how these humans function with their communication systems completely disabled." What neither of them realized was that their sonic technology, designed to scramble human communications, created frequencies that dogs could interpret with startling clarity. As the disruptors activated, Buddy's ears perked up. He looked at Ona with an intensity that surprised even her. For the first time since the invasion began, humans had found an unexpected advantage, one the Alterans had completely overlooked in their mockery of Earth's pet companions. Dr. Kite pushed his glasses up and stared at the readings on his screen. The data from Dr. Yuna's dog Buddy showed patterns that defied conventional understanding. In the makeshift laboratory deep underground, a team of scientists and military personnel worked frantically to understand the connection between canines and alien technology. It's not just hearing, Kite explained, pointing to neural activity charts. Their brains are processing these signals differently than ours. It's as if they're partially tuned to the aliens' communication frequencies. Doctor. Hyuna nodded, watching Buddy sitting alertly on a specialized platform surrounded by monitoring equipment. 5 other military dogs, German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois, sat nearby with similar gear. The question is, said General Taewon, can we use this to our advantage? Yuna smiled. We already are. Watch this. She activated a recording of alien communication signals. The dog's neural patterns changed immediately, and each animal turned to face precisely the same direction. They're all focusing on the same source, Kite said excitedly. The accuracy is remarkable. Colonel Sunho, who had been skeptical from the beginning, stepped forward. So they can point to alien signals. How does this help us fight back? Yuna grabbed a tablet and showed him video footage from yesterday's field test. A small team with 3 dogs had successfully located and avoided an alien patrol that human scanners couldn't detect. Their stealth technology hides them from our instruments, but not from canine senses, she explained. And we've discovered something even more important. She played another recording. This time, the dogs reacted before anything was audible. They can detect the energy signature 43 seconds before an attack, Kite said. That's enough warning time to save countless lives. Above ground, the alien invasion had stalled. What Commander Du Young had expected to be a swift victory had turned into a puzzling stalemate. Humans were somehow evading ambushes and anticipating attacks. It makes no sense, Du Young raged, reviewing battle footage in his command center. They have no technology capable of detecting our stealth fields. Science Officer Jiwoo studied the recordings carefully. Sir, I've noticed something unusual. The humans are often accompanied by their quadruped companions during successful evasion maneuvers. The pets? That's absurd. Perhaps not. Our preliminary studies dismiss these creatures as simple companions, but their sensory capabilities may exceed what we estimated. Du Young scoffed, but ordered increased surveillance of human-canine interactions. Meanwhile, in training facilities worldwide, military and police dogs were being equipped with specialized gear developed by Kite and Yuna's team. Each harness contained sensors that translated canine reactions into tactical data. Handlers learned to interpret subtle changes in their dog's behavior, gaining precious seconds of warning before attacks. In South Korea, a young handler named Mi Sun worked intensively with her German Shepherd, Rex. They had already survived 3 close encounters with alien patrols. Good boy, she whispered, adjusting his specialized harness. You're saving us all. Dr. Yuna's breakthrough had gone global. From border collies in Australia to huskies in Canada, dogs of all breeds were being incorporated into defense strategies. Stray dogs were adopted and trained. Pet dogs became neighborhood early warning systems. The Alterans, who had mocked humans for their emotional attachment to lesser species, now faced an enemy with an advantage they couldn't counter. In the IC, Underground Command Center, General Taewon received reports of successful operations worldwide. For the first time since the invasion began, hope flickered. We need to take this further, Yuna said. If dogs can detect their signals, perhaps they can disrupt them too. Kite nodded excitedly. The neural patterns suggest it's possible. We could potentially create interference by amplifying canine brainwaves at key frequencies. Colonel Sunho, now a believer, asked, how many dogs would we need? Hundreds, Kite said, working in synchronized networks. Make it happen, General Taewon ordered. As the meeting ended, alarms blared. A technician called out, Massive energy buildup detected in the alien mothership. Everyone turned to Buddy, who sat calmly, head tilted in curiosity rather than alarm. Yuna checked his readings. He's sensing something different, not an attack pattern. On the main view screen, the massive Altaran mothership changed position for the first time since arrival. The invasion had entered a new phase, but thanks to humanity's oldest animal companions, Earth was no longer defenseless. The rising sun cast long shadows across the training field as General Tae-won watched Mi-sun and her German shepherd Rex run the obstacle course. What had begun as a desperate experiment 3 weeks ago was now Earth's most effective defense against the alien invaders. 50 handler dog teams trained before him, each animal equipped with Kitae's latest neural interface harness. Impressive. Progress, Tae-won said to Dr. Yuna, who stood beside him with Buddy sitting alertly at her feet. The dogs learn faster than the humans, she replied with a small smile. They naturally understand what we're asking of them. Across the field, veteran K9 officer Jin Ho put his Belgian Malinois Luna through a series of detection exercises. Luna could now identify alien technology from over a kilometer away, even when it was completely invisible to human senses and instruments. How soon can we deploy the first official battalion? Asked Taiwan. The Alpha teams are ready now, Yuna said. 10 teams here, 15 in North America, 12 in Europe and 8 in Australia. The others need another week of training. The general nodded, watching as Luna suddenly froze, her ears perking forward. Jin Ho immediately tapped his communication device. Within seconds, alarms sounded, and everyone moved with practiced efficiency toward shelter. 43 seconds later, an Altaran scout ship appeared overhead, its weapons primed but finding no targets. They still don't understand how we're detecting them, Tae-won said with grim satisfaction. In orbit above Earth, Commander Du Young reviewed the latest failed attack reports with growing frustration. This makes no sense, he shouted, slamming his fist on the control panel. How are they evading us? Science Officer Jiwoo hesitated before speaking. Commander, I've analyzed all available data and have a theory. It may sound unusual. Speak. In every instance where humans have successfully evaded our forces, their quadruped companions, the animals they call dogs, were present. Du Young stared at her. You believe their pets are helping them fight us? These creatures possess sensory capabilities far beyond human range. They can detect sounds, smells, and possibly electromagnetic frequencies that humans cannot. The commander paced the bridge. If this is true, we need to eliminate these animals immediately. I've already designed a targeted sonic weapon, Jiwoo said. It will affect only the quadrupeds without harming humans or our troops. Du Young smiled coldly. Deploy it immediately. On Earth, the first human canine combat units were conducting joint operations worldwide. In what remained of London, a team led by Jin Ho and Luna successfully disabled an alien communications relay. In Sydney, 3 border collies guided soldiers through alien-occupied territory to rescue trapped civilians. The most dramatic success came in Chicago, where Mi-sun and Rex led a daring raid on an alien research facility. The operation freed hundreds of human test subjects and captured alien technology that Kitae was now reverse engineering. At the main base in South Korea, Dr. Yuna and Buddy worked with Kitae on the next phase of their plan. If dogs could detect alien signals, perhaps they could also disrupt them. The neural patterns are fascinating, Kitae said, showing Yuna his latest findings. When multiple dogs focus on the same alien frequency, they create a kind of interference pattern. Like noise cancellation? Yuna asked. Exactly. If we coordinate enough dogs with the amplifiers, we might be able to temporarily disable their communication systems. The test was scheduled for the following day. 50 dogs would simultaneously focus on recorded alien signals while wearing the new amplifier harnesses. That night, as Yuna slept fitfully in her quarters with Buddy curled at her feet, the dog suddenly jumped up, hackles raised. He didn't bark or growl. He simply stood frozen, ears twitching in pain. Yuna woke instantly. Buddy, what's wrong? Across the base, dogs began to whimper and howl. Some collapsed while others ran in confused circles. The Altarans had deployed their counterweapon. As medical teams rushed to help the suffering animals, Yuna cradled Buddy's trembling form. "They've figured it out," she whispered. "They're targeting the dogs." The battle had entered a new phase. The Alterans had finally recognized their true enemy wasn't human technology, but the bond between species that they had so arrogantly mocked. The underground base hummed with tense energy as Dr. Yunna attached the final components to Buddy's new protective harness. After the Alteran's sonic attack had injured thousands of dogs worldwide, Kite had worked day and night to create shields that could block the harmful frequencies. Buddy had recovered faster than most, his resilience surprising even Yuna. "This is our last chance," General Taewon told the assembled team. Maps and holograms displayed the massive Alteran mothership hovering above what remained of Seoul. Their weapon almost worked. They would have won if not for Dr. Kaite's countermeasures. Kite nodded solemnly. "The shields will protect our canine partners, but we don't know for how long. The Altarans are adaptable." Mi-sun checked Rex's equipment one last time. The German shepherd stood tall, his dark eyes alert despite the bandages still covering parts of his body. Nearby, Jinho whispered encouragingly to Luna, whose left ear remained partially paralyzed from the sonic attack. "Our plan is simple, but dangerous," Yuna explained, pointing to diagrams of the alien vessel. "The mothership's central command uses a neural network that connects all Alteran forces. If we can introduce our signal directly into that network, we might disrupt their entire command structure." "And by our signal, you mean," Jinho began. "The emotional bond between humans and dogs," Yuna finished. "Something they have no concept of and no defense against." The specialized transport rose silently through the night sky, its stealth technology, reverse-engineered from captured alien tech, concealing it from Alteran sensors. Inside, 12 humans and their canine partners sat in meditative silence, each dog wearing the new neural amplifier that would broadcast their emotional patterns directly into the alien network. As they approached the massive ship, Buddy suddenly stood, his gaze fixed on a specific point on the hull. "He's found an entry point," Yuna whispered to Taewon, "one their sensors don't monitor." The team deployed to the outer hull, magnetic boots allowing them to walk on the metallic surface. Dogs and handlers moved in perfect synchronization, following Buddy's lead as he tracked invisible energy patterns to a maintenance hatch. Inside the alien vessel, young Alteran officer Yoon-ji monitored security systems, unaware of the small team infiltrating through a rarely used service corridor. When her console beeped with an anomalous reading, she dismissed it as another equipment malfunction. The Alteran victory was so close. High Counselor Na Young had already begun preparations for the final attack that would end human resistance once and for all. The infiltration team reached the central neural core, a massive chamber filled with pulsating light and energy. Alteran technicians moved around the space, making adjustments to the machinery that controlled their entire fleet. "Now," Yuna whispered. All 12 dogs activated their neural amplifiers simultaneously. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The core's lights flickered as canine emotional patterns, loyalty, love, protectiveness, flooded the alien system. Alteran technicians collapsed, overwhelmed by feelings they had never experienced. Officer Yoon-ji felt it too, a warm sensation spreading through her mind. Images filled her consciousness, a puppy being cradled by human hands, an old dog resting its head on a child's lap, a working dog standing proudly beside its handler. The pure joy and unconditional love in these relationships stunned her. Throughout the ship, throughout the fleet, throughout their entire invasion force, Altarans experienced the same revelation. Many fell to their knees, overcome by emotions their species had long abandoned in favor of cold efficiency. Commander Du Young fought against the influence, staggering toward the neural core to stop the intrusion. He found Yuna and Buddy there, surrounded by Alteran officers who made no move to capture them. "What have you done?" Du Young demanded. "Shown you what you've been missing," Yuna replied simply. "The strength that comes from caring for another species." Buddy stepped forward, ears perked up curiously. Du Young found himself reaching out hesitantly, touching the dog's soft fur. A feeling he had never known washed over him. Connection, warmth, trust. Across Earth, Altaran forces stood down. Ships powered down weapons systems. On subjugated worlds throughout the galaxy, other species felt the change too, as the rigid hierarchy of the Altaran Imperium crumbled under the simple power of interspecies companionship. 1 month later, Officer Yunji, now Ambassador Yunji, adopted a rescue puppy at a ceremony marking the new Galactic Coalition. Beside her stood Dr. Yuna and Buddy, honored as the architects of peace. "They mocked us for loving our pets," Yuna said, watching. "Buddy play with alien children from 6 different worlds. But in the end, that love saved us all."